Why do some people make you tired in a normal way, and other people make you feel like your nervous system just got mugged in a parking lot?
Why did they look at me like that?
You know the feeling.
I talk too much?
You leave a conversation, get into your car, close the door, and just sit there in silence like your soul needs buffering time. Your chest feels weird. Your brain starts replaying everything. You suddenly need water, a nap, a new personality, and maybe citizenship in another country. And the annoying part is, nothing big even happened. Nobody screamed. Nobody flipped a table. It was just a dinner. Just a meeting. Just a date. Just a phone call with that one family member who can turn, "How are you?" into a hostage situation. So then you blame yourself. Maybe I'm too sensitive. Maybe I'm antisocial. Maybe I'm rude. Maybe I'm just bad at being around people. No. Some people are not draining because you're broken. They're draining because your system is picking up way more than the surface-level conversation. You are hearing the words, sure, but you are also catching the tension under the words. The facial shift, the fake laugh, the passive-aggressive pause, the weird little power game hidden inside a joke. And while somebody else is casually sipping their drink and missing all of it, your nervous system is in the back doing forensic analysis. That is exhausting. So if you've ever left an interaction feeling guilty for being tired, confused about why certain people feel heavy, or embarrassed that just hanging out can wipe you out for the rest of the day, this video is for you. Because you are not weak. You are not cold. And you are definitely not too much. You may just have a brain and body that are processing way more emotional data than the average person notices. And once you understand that, a lot of your exhaustion starts making a lot more sense. Here's the simplest way to think about it. Some people cost energy because they require normal social effort. Other people cost energy because they activate your internal surveillance team. The first kind is regular tired. The second kind is nervous system tired. Very different bill, much worse customer experience. When you're around unpredictable, emotionally messy, passive-aggressive, attention-hungry, or subtly critical people, your brain doesn't get to relax into connection. It has to monitor. It starts scanning for tone changes, for hidden meanings, for danger, for whether this person is upset, manipulative, disappointed, offended, needy, or about to make their feelings your problem. That doesn't mean you're paranoid. It means your system has learned that people are not always saying what they mean, and that missing the subtext can be costly. So while somebody else experiences the interaction as fine, your body is basically working double shifts. You're having the conversation and managing the emotional weather around the conversation, and trying not to say the wrong thing, and predicting the next weird moment before it happens. That is emotional labor. That is hyperattunement. That is social threat detection wearing a cute little outfit and pretending it's just being nice. And if you've done that for years, of course certain people drain you. Not because you can't handle people, because you've been handling way more than people realize. So let's get painfully specific. Here are the signs this is probably you. Sign number 1. You do not get tired from talking. You get tired from managing. Big difference. You can spend 2 hours with someone warm, direct, and easy and feel completely fine. Then spend 20 minutes with someone vague, tense, or emotionally slippery and feel like you need 3 business days to recover. Because the exhaustion isn't coming from socializing itself. It's coming from all the invisible work. At work, This looks like leaving a meeting more tired by one person's energy than by the actual agenda. Nobody else seems bothered, but you notice the manager's fake positivity, your coworker's resentment, and the weird silence after your idea got ignored and then repeated by Chad with a better haircut. Now your body's exhausted, and the meeting notes aren't even done. In friendships, it looks like hanging out with someone who says, "I'm fine," in a tone that could start a minor war. And now you spend the next hour trying to decode whether they're upset with you, with life, or with the waiter. You're not tired from being social. You're tired from being the unpaid emotional intern. Sign number 2. You feel responsible for other people's comfort way too fast. Not because you want control, because your system hates tension. So the second somebody gets awkward, cold, moody, or off, you start adjusting. You soften your tone. You over-explain. You become funnier, smaller, warmer, easier. You start editing yourself in real time, like your personality is a customer service email. At family dinners, this means watching everyone's mood like a stock market ticker. Mom sounds clipped. Dad's being smug. Your aunt is one comment away from saying something feral. And there you are, trying to keep the peace with mashed potatoes and fake eye contact. On dates, this shows up when you stop asking what you actually want and start focusing on whether they're comfortable, impressed, bored, or pulling away. So by the end of the night, they know how they feel, and you have absolutely no clue how you feel because you've been babysitting the vibe. That is draining. Sign number 3. You replay interactions because your brain is trying to close open tabs. People think overthinking is random. Usually, it isn't. Usually, your brain is reviewing the interaction because something felt off and never got resolved. Maybe the person smiled, but it felt sharp. Maybe they said, "No worries," but somehow made it sound like a threat. Maybe the group chat went quiet after your message, and now your nervous system is acting like you accidentally committed social tax fraud. So you replay it, not because you're dramatic, because your brain is trying to figure out whether you missed danger, rejection, conflict, or hidden meaning. That replay loop is not fun. It's your internal analyst trying to protect you with terrible timing. Like, "Thanks for the 2:14 a.m. presentation, but this could have been an email." And yes, it gets worse around people who are emotionally inconsistent. The kind who are warm one day, weird the next, and then act confused when you feel unstable around them. Your body hates mixed signals. It would like one storyline, please. Sign number 4. Forced closeness drains you faster than actual conflict. This one surprises people. Sometimes what drains you most isn't even overtly toxic behavior. It's fake connection. Small talk with someone who wants access to you without offering sincerity. A coworker who overshares but never really listens. A friend who says, "I miss you," but only calls when their life is on fire. A relative who demands intimacy but has never once made you feel emotionally safe. That stuff is exhausting because your body can feel the mismatch. The words say closeness. The energy says performance. And now you're trapped in a conversation where you're expected to be open, warm, and available, while every cell in your body is whispering, "This is not real." So afterward, you feel guilty. Because nothing bad happened, but your exhaustion is information. Your system is reacting to emotional incongruence. And incongruence is one of the fastest ways to burn out a sensitive person. Sign number 5. You often realize too late that what you felt was a boundary violation. Not because you're clueless, because you're trained to tolerate discomfort first and understand it later. So in the moment, you laugh, you nod, you stay polite, you let the conversation keep happening. Then 3 hours later, while brushing your teeth or pretending to watch a show, it hits you. Oh, that was rude. That was manipulative. That was invasive. That was not okay. And suddenly, the fatigue makes sense. Because your body knew before your mind was ready to admit it. This happens with people who interrupt too much, probe too personally, dump emotionally without consent, make backhanded compliments, or subtly put you in a one-down position and call it banter. Your exhaustion is not random weakness. A lot of the time, it's delayed recognition. Your body felt the boundary being crossed even while your social conditioning was still busy being nice. And that brings us to the part people rarely tell you. This thing you call a flaw? This tendency to feel drained, overloaded, overstimulated, and weirdly wiped out after certain people? It may be one of the clearest signs that your system is intelligent. Because what drains you also reveals what you can detect. You notice emotional incongruence. You read patterns fast. You catch shifts in tone. You feel when something is off before there is enough evidence to explain it in a neat little bullet point. That is not weakness. That is sensitivity with data attached. And yes, unmanaged sensitivity can become exhaustion. But understood sensitivity becomes discernment. It becomes the ability to read rooms accurately, to choose people wisely, to sense manipulation early, to know when somebody's words and energy do not match, to protect your peace before the crash instead of after it. The goal is not to become less sensitive. The goal is to trust what your sensitivity is telling you, without making yourself carry everybody else in the process. You do not need to become colder. You need cleaner boundaries. You do not need a different personality. You need permission to stop volunteering your nervous system for other people's unfinished chaos. Because the truth is, some people are draining not because you're fragile, but because your body is wise enough to know that not every connection is safe, mutual, or worth the cost. So the next time you leave someone and feel your energy disappear, don't immediately ask, "What's wrong with me?" Try asking, "What did my system just pick up?" That question will change everything. And if this video made you feel a little less broken and a lot more understood, subscribe to Doodle Dynamics Lab and hit like. Because around here, we don't shame sensitive minds. We teach them how to trust themselves,